UFC quickfire predictions for UFC on ESPN Plus 11 in Sweden. Fight night 153. Anthony Smith versus Alexander Gustafsson. Let's go through the whole fucking card. I need to breathe right now. Yoel Alvarez versus Daniel Leonardo. I'm going for Yoel Alvarez. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. I believe in him. Okay, he lost on the Ultimate Fighter, but I believe in him. I think he's going to do quite well. And his surname's Alvarez. So, you know, that immediately makes him fairly decent. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good start. Darko Stasi versus Devin Clark. I'm going to go with Darko Stosic. He's a big fucking light heavyweight. He's got knockout power. He came into the UFC, knocked his first opponent out in the first fucking round. Devin Clark, mediocre. Small light heavyweight. Very small light heavyweight. He could easily make middleweight if he was a bit more regimented. He's balding. And I'm going to go with Darko Stosic. I think he's going to get the job done. 13-1 light heavyweight, big guy with big fucking power. And he is going to put on a show, I believe, against Devin Clark, getting the first round knockout. B. Malecki versus Duda Santana. B. Malecki's 2-0. That's earned her space in the UFC. Going 2-0 earns you a place in the UFC. There are male fighters that are 10-0 that aren't getting their fucking shot. And she's 2-0. 2019. That's just what it is. Duda Santana versus B. Malecki. We don't know anything about either of them. So I'm going to go with B. Malecki because her name's easier to pronounce. There you go. 2-0. I think she's going to be 3-0. 1-0 has to go. Neither of them should even be in the UFC. Both of them making their debut, I believe. We have no information on either fucking one of them because that's how much the UFC cares about their women's divisions. I'm going with B. Malecki because it's easier to fucking pronounce. There you go, boys. Nick Hein versus Frank Camacho. I'm going with Nick Hein. Nick Hein's been winning some fights in the UFC. He's had a few fights in the UFC. Frank Camacho has only lost in the UFC. He's lost 2 of his fights. One to Jeff Neal, that I can last remember. I don't know who he lost to before that, but Jeff Neal was the last one I remember, which is no big deal because Jeff Neal was he's the real deal, Jeff Neal. So, but yeah, Frank Camacho, I've seen nothing from him that shows me he has any kind of promise to go far. So I'm going to go with Nick Hein. I really am going to go with Nick Hein. He's the older guy, but he's got more UFC experience. I'm going with Nick Hein to get the win by decision because I don't see a finish happening here. Stevie Ray, Braveheart versus Leonardo Santos. I'm going with Stevie Ray. I was going to go with Leonardo Santos to begin with because he's a savage and he hasn't lost in the fucking UFC. I think he's 5-0. Actually, hang on. I'm going with Leonardo Santos. He hasn't fought in 2 years because the fight's being cancelled and him being pulled from fights. I don't think he's fought since October of 2017 or something. I don't know how long it's been. But he's fucking 5-0 in the UFC. But because he doesn't speak English, you know, you're just going to have to keep winning until you're 10-0 and then you'll finally get your shot at a top 15 guy. But yeah, Stevie Ray, nothing special. He's Scottish. He's from my country, technically, even though I'm English. I should be rooting for him, but I've noticed nothing spectacular from him at all. I've noticed nothing that shows me that he's going to be something to deal with. Like, he's lost to a lot of guys. He's coming on a 2-fight loss streak, I believe, and he beats guys that aren't really that much of note. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Caden Johnson, but then he beats Ross Pearson, but then Ross Pearson is an older guy on his way out of the game. So it's just like, all of his wins don't mean much to me, if I'm honest with you. And Leonardo Santos hasn't fucking lost in the UFC, so I'm going to go with him. I feel like he's going to be 6-0, boys. Tonya Avenger versus Lena Landsberg. Right, 8-4 and 19-6. Alright, then that's a weird score. I'm gonna go with Lena Landsberg because she's in shape and Tonya Avenger has a mum bod and she needs to drop her kids off at school before she gets to the fight. So yeah. Also, they're both 39, I think. How old are they? 37 years old? Jesus Christ. I'll go with Tonya Avenger. Just based on experience, I think she gets the win over Lena Landsberg. There you go, boys. Bartosz Fabinski versus Sergey Kazgudor. I'm going to go with Bartosz Fabinski. He's lost in the UFC. He's won in the UFC. This guy coming in has no experience in the UFC, but he's also... Let me think about this one, boys. I'm going to go with Sergey Kandozko. Okay? Kandozko. I'm going to go with him. 25-5, young guy, coming into his prime now at 27 years of age. And he's taken losses outside of the UFC, which is what I like to see, boys. Okay, I really like to see that. Because that means he's going to be making the improvements necessary to get to the UFC. Because a lot of times you find these guys that get into the UFC undefeated and they still have holes in their games that haven't been shown to them yet. But when you have losses before you get into the UFC and tons of experience, which he does. I mean, he's got 31 fights at 27 years of age. So I'm going to go with him. Sergey gets the win by decision, I believe. There you go, boys. Moving on, Daniel Tamer versus Sung Bin Yo. I'm going with Sung Bin Yo. He's 9-0. Daniel Tamer, brother of the other Tamer, that I can't remember the fucking name of, if I'm honest with you. I'm going with Sung Bin Yo. I've seen Daniel Tamer. I've noticed nothing fucking special about him whatsoever. Yeah, that's about it. I've noticed nothing special about Daniel Tamer. I've watched him fight. He's lost 3 times in the UFC. Somehow they're keeping him on because the UFC doesn't cut fighters anymore for some reason. And yeah. I'm going with Sung Bin Yo. An Asian, I'm assuming by the name. That's not stereotypical of me. That is, if he's not Asian, I mean, I don't know anymore. Like that will redefine the meaning of life to me. Sung Bin Yo is not Asian? You're telling me he's not Asian? Let me check. Let me check this motherfucker out. Hang on, guys. I bet he's fucking Asian. He better be. He better be. Yes, he is. Very Asian. Very Asian. And he's coming from 1FC, I believe. South Korean. Alright, boys. I'm going with him. He's 9-0. I'm looking for him to win. Daniel Tamer is complete trash, so of course he's going to win. Then we move on. Damir Hadzovic versus Christos Giagos. I'm going with Damir Hadzovic. Don't ask why. Don't ask why, because I don't know why. But I'm going with Damir Hadzovic, okay? I've looked into it, boys. Makwan Amirkhani. Very good fighter. 3-0 in the UFC, I believe, against Chris Fishgold. Here's the thing with Makwan Amirkhani. I think he has something like 3 split decisions. He's been very lucky with some of these decisions. And he's always taken a beating in his fights. I'm going to go with Chris Fishgold. I think Chris Fishgold's going to be able to out-wrestle him for 3 rounds. I'm going to root against Amir... actually, I think Makwan Amirkhani's 2-0 in the UFC. He doesn't fight often at all, which is weird to me. I think he's been fighting in the UFC for ages. I seem to remember him ages ago. I'll go with Makwan Amirkhani. I'm going to go with Chris Fishgold. I'll go with him. I think he's going to out-wrestle him for like so many rounds and just dominate him. He's going to be bigger. He's going to be stronger. And I think Makwan Amirkhani takes too much time off between fights. And Chris Fishgold's going to get straight in there and do the deed. Even though he's coming off a knockout loss, 18-2. It's a good fucking record. And I'm going to go with him for the win. And Chris Fishgold also has a win over Daniel Tamer. They fought before and they're on the same card. So I'm going to go with Chris Fishgold. No. I'm going to go with... Oh, fuck off. I'm rooting for Makwan Amirkhani. Okay? I want him to go 3-0 so we have another prospect. There you go. I'm going with Makwan Amirkhani, boys. Jimi Manuwa versus something Rakik. His name isn't even on the fucking schedule. UFC, sort your fucking shit out. Hadzvar Rakik or something. Or Rakic. Rakic is going to get the win. He's 11-0. He's a big fucking guy. He last came off a win over Devin Clark, who's also on this card. Yeah, I think he's going to get the win. Jimi Manuwa's chin is long gone. Long fucking gone is his chin. Glass Cannon Manuwa is going to get slept again. Rakic is a big fucking kickboxer. Big guy for light heavyweight. Johnny Walker-esque with the way he fights. He's a savage. He comes out to fucking fight, boys. I'm going with Rakic. I think he's going to get a knockout win. I think he's going to get it in the first round because Jimi Manuwa's chin doesn't exist anymore. There you go, boys. Jimi Manuwa's going to be 0-4. Volkan Oezdemir versus Ilir Latifi. This is a good one. I thought Volkan Oezdemir, upon re-watching, beat Dominic Reyes, but I thought it was a close fight either way. So I wasn't mad it was a split decision, but I thought, no, Oezdemir should definitely win that fight. Especially when I re-watched it. I think at the time I was like, oh, I don't really know who won. Because I was like looking away. You know, I was getting a drink. You know what I'm saying? I come back and like, I don't see the 2 jabs that I just missed. You know what I'm saying? So upon re-watching it, I thought Volkan Oezdemir did enough to win, especially with the pressure and the takedowns. if he can escape the first round against Ilir, he's going to win the fight, because Ilir Latifi can't go longer than a fucking half of the first round. He literally has a burst of 30 seconds at the start of each round, and I think Volkan Oezdemir is going to be able to survive that and win the rest of the rounds. So yeah, Volkan Oezdemir, by decision. I don't think he gets a finish. I just don't. But yeah, I believe in him. Volkan Oezdemir, boys. Alexander Gustafsson versus Anthony Smith. Okay, here's a big one. Here's a big one. Anthony Smith's complete fucking trash. Okay, I don't care what anyone fucking says. The fights that he had to get where he's at. Fair enough, a win over Volkan Oezdemir where Oezdemir gassed out and broke his nose. Fair enough, you had that win over Volkan Oezdemir. But wins over Rashad Evans and Shogun Rua do not earn you it. Though that is not the streak of a fucking champion. Okay, I don't care how the division is so fucking empty that some of these guys just sneak through. Okay, and I'm going to completely trash Anthony Smith. He's a great guy, a nice guy, lion heart, he's got heart, he stayed in there for 5 rounds against Jones, and I know what people are going to say, well, Jones finished Gustafsson. Well, Gustafsson had a fucking leg injury. Tell me again how he finished him with those leg kicks and took him down, and Gustafsson couldn't get back up. I'm going to go Gustafsson. I really am. I think he's fighting for his career. I think he knows if he loses this, it might be time to hang stuff up, because he's not going to get the belt anytime soon. He's in his hometown. The last time we saw him in Sweden was when he fucking dismantled Glover Teixeira and finished him in the 5th round, and it was fucking brutal with those uppercuts. I think he's going to completely demolish Anthony Smith. I really think he is. I think Anthony Smith's very lucky. I think he got very, very fucking good matchups to get himself to where he was and where he is now. And I think he's going to be too small, too slow, not enough power to beat a non-chin wearing Alexander Gustafsson. And I think he's going to get absolutely destroyed. I think Gustafsson's going to finish him, actually. I think Gustafsson's going to get a TKO finish in round 3 or 4. I think the pace is just going to be too much with the boxing. The hands are going to be too fast. And Lionheart will get mauled by the mauler. You know what I'm saying? The Lion's about to get mauled, boys. In a drastic turn of events. Great fight card, though. I was originally looking at this being like, I don't really care about this. But some of the names on here are actually pretty good. You know, you got some interesting fights. I like it. It's in 2 weeks, but fuck it, boys. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing else to upload. I might just upload one of me just like taking a shit or something. That's actually a fucking good idea. If I just post a video of me taking an actual shit. See you guys later. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned for me taking a shit.